Joey McGuire and crew continue to add speed and physicality to the Texas Tech roster, this time in Houston transfer Mikal Harrison-Pilot. And in today's video, we'll break down his game, his switch from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side, as well as take a look at the 2024 recruiting class for your Red Raiders and where it ranks within the Big 12 and nationally. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you're excited about this commitment for the Red Raiders, and shoot, if you just want more Texas Tech football content here on the channel, just do me one favor. Like the video. That's all I'm going to ask you to do in today's video, because let's face it, let's get right into this commitment because it's a super, super interesting one. You can see some of his, things to know about MHP. Mikal Harrison-Pilot, a native of Temple, Texas. He's 5'11", 190, and was ranked as the 153rd best player in the class of 2023, according to 247 Sports. Now, he was also the top recruit in the 2023 class for the Houston Cougars. So, obviously, that Big 12 interconference transfer goes the right way for the Red Raiders in this regard. As a freshman at Houston, MHP didn't really do a whole lot. Actually just played 14 snaps, all of them coming on special teams. Now, at Houston, he was a wide receiver. At Texas Tech, it is being reported that he will make the switch to defense, as I mentioned in the intro, and he will play in the Texas Tech secondary at the safety spot. And he fits the mold for what Texas Tech wants in the secondary because he's got some serious speed. He ran an 11 almost flat 100-meter dash. In high school, it was 11.02, but we'll round down for his sake in this regard. But MHP is also really good friends with two, relevant Texas Tech players. One, Javion Wilcox, the TCU transfer, who's going to play safety for the Red Raiders next year, is actually a preferred walk-on. And then this guy's not a preferred walk-on. He just happens to be the highest ranked recruit in Texas Tech program history, that 5-star wide receiver, Micah Hudson. So he is friends there. Now, when it comes to the role for MHP for Texas Tech, he's going to play safety. I think he's going to be one of those guys that predominantly plays special teams, but has the chance to make the 2-deep roster if he comes in and has a good, fall camp. But I think the thing that he's going to do best with that speed, at least early on until he navigates a role on the 2-deep or whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if he is involved in the kickoff and punt return aspect of special teams for the Red Raiders. But he's an uber athletic guy who can make the transition, obviously, from wide receiver to the secondary for Texas Tech. And I think he's going to be a high-quality addition for the Red Raiders moving forward. Again, you look at what he did last year at Houston, it really wasn't a whole lot. And guess how many years of eligibility he has left, people? 4. He redshirted last year, so that's big for Texas Tech, and I think he could be a key contributor once he finds his stride in the Texas Tech secondary during his time out in the 806. All right, let's look at the portal class as a whole as it stands right now. You see MHP up there, and yes, I already put safety on there, but you've got DeBraylon Carroll. You got Javion Wilcox, the aforementioned Javion Wilcox, the TCU safety transfer. Caleb Payday Douglas. If you know anything about this channel, when Caleb is mentioned, I am going to say Payday because it is a baller-ass nickname. He's a wide receiver from Florida. You got Vinny Scurry, one of the top interior offensive linemen in this past transfer portal class for the Red Raiders. You got Jason Llewellyn, another walk-on for Texas Tech, this one from Oklahoma at the tight end spot. Now, Davion Carter, he's also a guy that is going to be a highly regarded interior offensive lineman, one of the best in this past portal cycle. He will probably line up for the Red Raiders at right guard with Scurry over at left guard. Then you've got a really good punter because you need to replace a really good punter. You got Jack Burris from Weber State. Then you've got James Hansen from Nevada at D tackle. You've got another tight end. We're going to mention another one here in just a second. And John Carlos Miller, the second from Elon. He actually led that level of football in yards per catch at the tight end spot. Uber athlete right there. Jalen Conyers, a return home for him after, Oklahoma and then Arizona State. He is now back in the Lone Star State after transferring from the Sun Devils. He is now a Red Raider and will be a pivotal part of that tight end group for the Red Raiders. Again, that is Jalen Conyers. Then you've got Devin Cromwell from Canada, a guy that has arguably one of the most interesting quotes and just stories in general from Joey McGuire this offseason, where Cromwell had to basically be told by Joey McGuire that, hey, they can't move like they do in Canada. So if you aren't familiar with Canadian football, wide receivers can get a head start running. You can do that side to side, but in Canada, you can do it straight line down the field. Cromwell didn't know that, or I guess maybe he was having one of those days. He's going to be a really solid contributor, and I think the guy that could really, once he catches on to the American game and makes some strides in terms of the playbook, could be a contributor not only on special teams, but also in the secondary for the Red Raiders. You got Sterling Porcher, an offensive tackle from Memphis, probably the leader going into fall camp for that left tackle spot. You've got the backup quarterback in Cameron Brown from West Georgia, and then Javon Jackson from Fairmount State for DB depth as well. Now, where do the Red Raiders rank not only within the Big 12, but nationally in, this transfer portal class? At one point, they were top 10, but they don't have as many guys in this portal class through the Red Raiders as some of them. I mean, shit. I mean, you look at what Colorado did, pardon my language, but they have 40 guys. I mean, what Dion is doing in the portal at Colorado is damn near a mad scientist experiment. We've never seen it before. Texas Tech is not on that level. Not even close. But these are the ranks for Texas Tech. From 247, you've got the 36th ranked transfer portal class in this cycle, 7th in the Big 12, behind the likes of, the aforementioned Colorado, Arizona State, Utah, other schools as well. Rivals has Texas Tech in this transfer portal class at 41st overall, 5th in the Big 12. And then on 3 is the highest, as you can see at the bottom of your screen here in just a second. On 3 has the Red Raiders 2024 transfer portal class ranked 25th nationally, 4th in the Big 12. So some really big-time talented guys coming in for Texas Tech, and some guys that are going to be instant impact guys. I mean, shoot, you could be talking about 3 starting offensive linemen for the Red Raiders in this transfer portal class. And for those that don't know, Rodriguez, a guy that's competing for the left tackle spot, he's actually part of the high school class. So there's part of that in that regard. But you could legitimately have 3 starting offensive linemen from this portal class in Porcher, Scurry, and Carter, because I think right now when you're going into fall camp, and obviously things can change drastically going in, but if you had to ask me, okay, RC, hey, what do you think the offensive line is going to look like the first snap of offense against Abilene Christian on August 31st? I think from left to right, you're going to go Porcher, Scurry, Caleb Rogers moving inside to center. Then you've got Carter at right guard, and then Ty Buchanan at right tackle. The one that I'm pretty uneasy about is obviously the left tackle. I think that there's a lot to go there, and there's another transfer portal guy there from South Carolina as well that's a preferred walk-on as well that I forgot to mention in the portal class for Texas Tech, but he'll be in that left tackle mix as well. Starting his career at Charlotte, was supposed to start at South Carolina, but now he will be trying to battle for a job for the Red Raiders at the left tackle spot. But again, I still stick with that prediction. Porcher, Scurry, Rogers, Carter, and Buchanan on the left tackle. And really the biggest question mark for the Red Raiders this year, and I know this is a transfer portal video, but it's going to be the health of Baron Moore. Simple and plain, right? A lot of people have asked me that, but this is a positive video. We got plenty of time during the summer to talk about other things. The big news in Texas Tech football today is, Mikal Harrison-Pilot has committed to the Scarlet and Black, transferring in from Houston to not play wide receiver. No, he will play safety instead. A former top 160 recruit in the 2023 class, redshirted last year at Houston, will make his way to the 806 to play with a couple of his buddies, and Micah Hudson, 5-star wide receiver, and Javon Wilcox, the TCU safety transfer as well. All right, I am RC Maxfield, reminding you, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football all year long, whether it's on the gridiron and the transfer portal and everything in between. We've got you covered right here on the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel.